Shalom. I want to begin the lesson off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double blessings and honors to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth through the spirit of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Now, as you brothers know, if you're in the truth, we don't like making lessons on the 2/3. But as far as this lesson, this is the first thing that popped up into my head. So I guess the spirit was put on me to talk about this subject. So I'm going to talk about it, and Lord willing, to be edifying to you. I don't want to necessarily make this about the person in the video that I'm going to be talking about, but rather use it as a learning tool for you people who are new or coming into the truth, so that you don't make the same mistake that this person made. So I want to first start off by saying what happened. So I'm going to try and summarize it so we can just get to the lesson. But a couple weeks ago at camp, I started off the lesson talking about a friend I had back at school who was messing with a woman who had a man. And basically I was telling him not to do nothing with her because, as you all know, that's adultery. He didn't listen, and he ended up going through with it, and he ended up laying down with that woman. And I tried to tell him that that wasn't a good thing or a smart decision, but you know how 2/3 Jake is, they don't like to listen. So we're just going to get into a few scriptures concerning the matter, and Lord willing, to be edifying to you. But let's start with 1 Peter verse 4 and 17. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High Power, meaning Israel. And if it first began at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High Power? So basically what that's saying is if judgment begins with us, as far as the elect, the hopeful elect, what does that mean for the people who don't believe, or the people who didn't try and follow his law, statutes, and commandments? And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? So, as we know, there's only going to be 1/3 and 144,000 saved. And that 1/3 is an innumerable multitude, because we don't know how many Israelites there are out there. We're scattered abroad the nations. We're scattered among the heathen nations. We're like the sand of the sea. And so if the hopeful elect is scarcely saved, then what does that mean for those who don't believe, the 2/3 who we try to wake up and call? What does that mean for them? Wherefore, let them that suffer according to the will of the Most High Power commit the keeping of their souls to him in well-doing, as unto a faithful creator. And in the NLT it reads, so if you are suffering in a manner that pleases the Most High Power, keep on doing what is right, which is what we do. We push through this captivity every day. We try and follow the laws to the best of our ability, because we know that we can't keep every law. We're in the flesh. Well, I'm not going to say we're in the flesh, but we are in these weak human bodies, and we're not in the new covenant. So therefore, the law is not written in our minds. We won't be able to be like that until the return of the Son of Man, Hamashiach, the anointed one. So if you are suffering in a manner that pleases the Most High Power, keep on doing what is right, and trust your lives to the Most High Power who created you, for he will never fail you, which is why we have to have faith. Now, I just want to bring that up because this person that I'm talking about is a non-believer. But just because you're a non-believer does not mean that you have an excuse. Let me turn this off. Does not mean that you have an excuse to commit and break laws. I already told this brother the truth. I told him what it was. And like Apostle Tahar said, if they don't get it after 2 times, it's on them. His blood is off my hands. Now, like I said, I don't want to talk about this, but I'm going to try and use it as a teaching moment or lesson for those of you who do and are listening. Yeah, I want to start off with Leviticus. Excuse me. Okay. Leviticus chapter 10, Leviticus chapter 20, Salakia, verse 10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. So this is how you know we're in captivity, right? Back in the biblical times, adultery was a serious offense. We committed adultery against the Most High Power, and you see where we're at now, right? We're in captivity. You commit adultery with a man's wife, and like it reads, you will be put to death for that. You will be put to death. So this is the reason why I want to use it as a teaching moment. For those of you who are coming into the truth or whatnot, you really have to try and follow the law, statutes, and commandments. If somebody tells you or tries to wake you up, you gotta either try and pray to be able to have the understanding or the spirit to take heed, because you don't want to end up like this person. They see, for us, we're so young and we really haven't had a chance to break that many like serious laws. But for him, he just committed a law or just broke a law that's punishable by death. So that's not looking too good for that person. But I'm gonna continue. Where was I at? I want to lose my dog. Yeah. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 32. And this is how you know. This is for you fake Christians who say that the Old Testament is done away with. I could look up things in the Old Testament and the New Testament, and the New Testament will be quoting the Old Testament. For instance, I'm getting sidetracked right now, but see, look, ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery. That's in Matthew. That's the New Testament. And you see it all. We keep going down. It's talking about adultery. New Testament, New Testament, New Testament. You go up. It's Old Testament too. So, anyways, let me continue reading. Salakia. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 32. But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. Now let's stop. The reason why it says, whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding, is because if you read the book of Proverbs, Proverbs is talking about wisdom, right? And it says in Proverbs a few times, wisdom and knowledge. The fear of the Most High Power brings wisdom and knowledge. I'm roughly paraphrasing. I could pull the scripture up in a second, but we know that this person lacks wisdom as it reads in the scriptures, or understanding. Excuse me. It says understanding, because he doesn't fear the Lord. That's why it's saying that the person who commits adultery lacketh understanding. You don't fear the Lord. If you fear the Lord, you will know that this is a sin that's punishable by death. So let's go ahead and continue. A wound and a dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. So, like I said before, you might have heard this from elders or apostles. Certain sins or transgressions of the law are weighed differently. Now, of course, you're going to get judged for them, but not all judgment is the same. which is why it says his shame will never be erased. That's judgment. That is a very, very heavy judgment. And we're going to go into that too. That's why it's important to fear the Lord. You don't want to fall into the hands of the Lord. Promise you, if you seen the thing, if you come into this truth, like I said, it's like you put on a whole different lens. You see things in a more spiritual way. And you see things and you be like, dang. You realize why that happened. The Lord messed that person up. It puts fear, it strikes fear into your heart because you don't want to end up like that person. Let's continue. For jealousy is the rage of a man. Therefore, he will not spare in the day of vengeance. As men, one of the most hurtful things that a woman can do to you is what? Cheat on you. So even the most calm man could still get jealous from this and be in a rageful manner and behave in a rageful manner. He will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though thou givest many gifts. So just because you try and be like, oh man, I'm sorry, bro, I didn't know. Number one, that's a lie. You did know. And number two, no matter how many gifts you give him, no matter how much you kiss his butt, kiss his ass, whatever, he's going to look through all of that. Why do you think a lot of men become incarcerated? Because of women. Because of something that a woman had them or made them do. Because you decided to commit adultery on your man just because of the way you felt at the time. Which is why it reads in Job 39:17 that she was not imparted with wisdom or understanding. I don't want to mess that up because I want to make sure I'm saying it right. Because the Most High Power had deprived her of wisdom, neither had he imparted her to understanding. So we know that the women, and I know there's a few of you sisters in the truth, a very few, very, very few. But we know that she lacks wisdom and understanding because she also doesn't fear the Lord. Women only fear things that they see. But let me go ahead and go back to the scripture I said I was going to pull up. It's in Proverbs. Here it is. Wait. Yes. So it reads, Proverbs 9:10. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. So, but I also let me make sure I stay on track. Oops. I want to pull this up too. So like I was saying before, when you come into this truth, a different lens comes over you. You start to fear the Lord. The fear, the spirit of fear is put into your heart. And when I say heart, I mean mind. I don't mean that muscle that's beating in your chest. I mean mind. It gets ingrained into your brain. Like, man, nah, it's not worth it, bro. It's not worth it. I know we can't keep every law, but it's not worth it, bro. Getting judged or adding on to your tab. You're just adding on to your tab to get judged worse and worse. Let's see. Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 30. For we know him that hath said, vengeance belongeth unto me. I will recompense, saith Yahweh, the Lord Yahweh. And again, the Lord Yahweh shall judge his people. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living Most High power. I can't say you 2/3 gotta stop doing wickedness, because that's your reason for being put on this earth, is to do wickedness. But just know, I'm speaking to the hopeful elect. So you don't lead your life like them people. We just read the Lord will judge his own people, and it's a fearful thing to fall into his hand. You don't want to be in the Lord's trick bag, man. It's not fun. It's not fun. You don't want to be in that trick bag. I want to bring up one last scripture before I end it off. Dang. Let me see. I'm about to. I think it's in. It's got to be in Deuteronomy. Is it Deuteronomy? Nope. Hold up, 'cause I'm about to find this real quick so I can end it off. Let me look into my notes. Salakia, bear with me, please. Oh, Psalms. I was off. I knew it was a 7 in there somewhere. No. Psalm chapter 37, verse 12. The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. The Lord Yahweh shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. So the reason why I brought that last scripture up is because basically what you put out is gonna come back to you. So if you putting out wickedness, wickedness gonna come back to you. If you putting out righteousness, righteousness gonna come back to you. So just keep that in mind. Call halal Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Akakwadash. With that being said, till next time, I'd like to say Shalom.